Pregame.com.
Welcome back to pregame.tv. Sunday action, baseball. We're going to take a look at Boston at Toronto. This is actually first baseball video we've done of the season. You know I love baseball, Ken, and let's see if we can get the free plays here on the videos to be equaling the success that I've got going with the betting first look. A lot of people that watch the videos tune into the betting.
27-6. You can only hope to contain them on betting first look. I'm telling you, I mean, it's like people wait for that. And I will say this, you had a total or something, I mean, literally 20 minutes after you put it out at 1 o'clock Pacific, it dropped a half run or whatever.
It was early in the week. We had a total at 7, and it went down to 6.5. Yep. It's just, when you're in a groove, you've been in it before, Ken. When you sit down and you look at the games, you start to handicap. It's almost like you're looking at the schedule, and one game is in 3D. The rest of the schedules.
See, I'm like that with college hoops. You're like that with baseball. And when you hit 25 in a row 2 years ago, you put your name on that list to where people see, okay, Marco's got this rolling. Yeah. Where is it? What play is it? Is it a 3-star? Is it a best bet? It was, and this certain category of plays right now, 27-6 is ridiculous.
And so, knock on wood, every time we talk about it,
business,
we'll do that. But Sunday baseball action, I'm excited about starting doing some baseball videos. We got a pitcher matchup here. John Lester, R.A. Dickey. Dickey comes over to Toronto, last year, the big offseason signing after he had, the breakout year. Where did that year come from with the Mets? And I know you're a Mets fan, and that he hasn't equaled that stuff that he had in New York that got him the big contract as a free agent 2 years ago. What, as a former Met player, what are your thoughts on R.A. Dickey?
I was bummed to see him go, but I knew we had to strengthen the rest of the team. It's a joke since the Madoff situation. The Mets have been just trying to tread water. And lo and behold, Bartolo Colon, and again, we're taping on Thursday afternoon, late afternoon, so there were Thursday morning games, Vegas time. He gets a win over St. Louis. We just took 3 out of 4 from the Cardinals, which is, I can't remember the last time we did that, but lo and behold, the Mets have a better record than the Cardinals right now, sitting at 12-10. The Cardinals are 12-11, so kind of mind-blowing. But I missed R.A. Dickey, and I liked all the things he did off the field. He did so much. He was molested as a child. He came out. It was an embarrassing thing, but he came out just because he wanted to help people not go through the same thing he went through as a kid.
Yeah, great, a great individual, no question about that. In your Mets, they're a team that coming into the season, I think a lot of people, underrated. And right. Bartolo Colon, I just continue to.
Aaron Harang, Bartolo Colon. Who are these guys?
Edward Volquez for the Pirates.
Unreal.
That one I did not see coming. He's pitched great baseball. So
let's just hope that it's not. We've got something now that's going to beat the test again, and maybe it does. Who knows? But let's just hope it's clean.
All right. You know what, Ken? You want to.
Well, I was going to ask. I just wanted to get your take on the Pineda stuff. We're talking about cheating. They gave him a 10-game suspension. It just came down a couple hours ago.
I got a little bit of back here.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely crazy. I was talking to Roberto Clemente Jr., my buddy, and he was telling me, he goes, I can't stand it when I see guys cheat. He goes, the PEDs is one thing, and now they're clamping down on that. But when you blatantly come out and cheat, and he said for years he knew that a lot of the catchers on the shin guards would have the pine tar. They'd get it. So it was protected with dark shin guards, but I'm saying I can't wait for a pitcher to throw it, batter to hit it, and the ball sticks to the bat. He started laughing. I said, it's crazy when you think the Sammy Sosa, the corked bat, and he was on PEDs. It's crazy.
But what was he thinking? The back of his neck, right there, plain sight.
Joe Negro with the still the greatest, the freaking file. And then he was the guest on. Remember, he was the guest on Letterman with the sander. Yeah. Unreal.
All right. Well.
All right, yeah, it's Marco D'Angelo. To close things up on our videos, we've got a great baseball video. It is Toronto and Boston. Marco D'Angelo, this is your free play. Let's make it official.
R.A. Dickey, great guy off the field, but I have not been a fan on the field this year. Been no mystery to the hitters, to be honest with you. In his last three starts, 30 men have reached base against R.A. Dickey in just 17 1/3 innings of work. 13 of those guys came around to score. The biggest problem for Dickey has been his control this year. He's got 18 walks in 29 innings. Now, when you're a guy, you're throwing the knuckleball and stuff, you can't be given free passes the way he's been doing it. You put guys on base, bad things are going to happen, and they've been happening. Boston is a team that will score off of him, and I'm looking at John Lester. John Lester's pitched well this year. He's actually coming off his worst game of the season. In his worst game of the season, he went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs. That was his worst of the season. The other 3 starts, he went 7 innings or more, gave up 3 runs or less in all of the other starts. Hitters are struggling against him. He's got 38 Ks in 33 innings. Ken, that's a great equalizer. When you can erase guys off the base pads with strikeouts, not putting the ball in play, you're going to get out of any jams you might get yourself into. Also, he's a lefty. This is a fluke for Toronto in the scheduling. They have gone there'll be a 15-game stretch between Toronto facing their last left-hander. All right-handers they've been facing in the starting lineups for their opposing pitchers, they're going to face a good lefty in John Lester. I like Boston to get this one done. Also, Dickey has struggled in day games. His ERA, 6.19 in 3 daylight starts. We're going to go ahead, take Lester and the Boston Red Sox to grab this one on Sunday. That's my free play. Boston. John Lester, specified pitchers. We are taping this on Thursday, so if there'd happen to be a rain out or something and a lineup gets shifted, you got to have Lester versus Dickey. That's the matchup I want.
There you go. I love that. And always, I mean, some of the places now, they just list pitchers. It's getting to be like that, so people don't just have to say, listed pitchers. But, I mean, that's the way it is. But you want to do that. And for you folks out there that don't know, if you play a game and you don't just specify the pitchers, if they make a change and the team wins, you don't get your money. You're going to get your money back because it's going to be a push. So you got to understand that. I know most of you folks out there, you're all sharps, and you know, because you criticize us, so we know you're sharp. I'm just teasing. It is funny how many guys out there are experts, but, we do this stuff, and we do it, to the best of our ability. And the best guys, even in their best sports, if you hit 60%, that's outstanding. You're going to get calls from services that are going to tell you, we've hit 85%. That don't miss it. Yeah. $5,000 right here. Don't do it. The great thing about pregame, RJ Bell and the guys, everybody's records are there. You can find them out. I mean, we're not hiding behind the curtain. There are people that are hiding behind the curtain, no doubt.
Absolutely. All right. He's Ken Thomson. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Check out Ken Monday through Friday, 7 to 10, 3 hours, 2 hours here in Vegas, all 3 hours on Yahoo Sports Radio. Great show, great guest, especially like his Monday guest lineup.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Can't beat the guy between 8 and 9.
All right. He's Ken Thomson. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Guys, have a great weekend. The Tuesday crew will be back next week. And don't forget, next week, special treat for you. We're going to have Kentucky Derby videos. I'll be breaking them down. Ken's buddy, we're bringing him in, dusting him off.
Chuck Edel, man. Chuck, he loves his ponies, man.
We'll be talking some horses, and maybe we'll get a couple stories from Chuck and his days back in Chicago.
Well, I'll get you some good info, too. My buddy Paul Rogers, the voice of the Louisville Cardinals, also calls the Derby locally there in Louisville. He's been doing that for about 3 decades, so I'll get some good insight there prior to you guys shooting that video.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Have a great weekend, guys. Pick a lot of winners. Cash some tickets.
That's the main thing.